work. Okay. Hi.
Hey, we made it.
I know. I'm so excited. I'm gonna push my chair back a little. You look comfy.
I am comfy. This is like my favorite place in our house. It's in our office, but it's just like one of those big, giant love sacks. It's the best investment.
I want one, but I know Nala would just destroy it.
I'm surprised Sawyer like won't get on it. It's shocking.
Really?
Yeah, he's like
Um,
not about it. Unless I'm on it, sometimes he'll try to climb up on top of me, but otherwise, nah.
yeah, that would make me so nervous. I'm like, we can't have anything nice until Nala goes to the
Yeah. No, I get that.
I'm excited that we're doing this and we're going live for anyone watching live or catching the replay. This is my soon-to-be sister-in-law, Catherine, and I'm so excited to have her on. She has put in so much time and effort launching her new brand, which is Yoga with Cath. I should have worn my hoodie because I can't wear the t-shirt Zach got me because I'm too big.
Oh
So I'm going
no.
to wear Zach's hoodie because it has Zach and Catherine did a mix logo between Yoga with Cath and ModCon. So I should have worn it, but I'm very good.
I need to get myself one of those.
Yeah, he ordered them. They took a while, but they look really good.
Yeah.
They're really cute. I got mine on a maroon shirt because it's very on brand with me and my
Cute.
brand, so I can rep you both.
Amazing.
But I'm so excited for her to share. So I want you, I guess, do you want to just start introducing yourself and kind of
Yeah.
what led to the birth of Yoga with Cath?
Yes, for sure. So, hello, I'm Catherine, if we aren't acquainted. And I'm the owner, founder, I am the yogi, I'm the face of Yoga with Cath. I say that I'm not really the star of the show, though. It's probably this guy over here in the corner, if you can see him.
Sawyer.
He is the star of the show. I know that everybody that comes to my classes are there for him. It's okay. If that's fair.
It is fair.
Yeah, so basically, I started this company about 6 months ago. I really wanted to build something that was going to be a place where everybody felt comfortable. Mostly because I myself was struggling to find that perfect in between fitness, because I'm very much into the fitness lifestyle. I work out multiple times a week. That's really been my thing for a long time. But also yoga, because I felt like there was constantly a disconnect in fitness when it came to emotional and mental health and being able to take care of my mind. So
Yep.
I wanted something that was kind of in between. So a few years ago, I did get certified. I got my yoga teacher certification and I began teaching in studio, which was amazing. But then the pandemic hit and everything got shut down. So I was like, okay, this is probably a good time to start thinking about what I can do myself for my own brand and kind of venture off onto my own. And then I moved from Pennsylvania to Florida and I was like, all right, now's the time. I can bring my yoga community together with my fitness community and not be limited to a physical location, which is why I brought everything into this online virtual world. It's kind of perfect timing anyway, since everything seems to be going online right now as it is, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's kind of how it happened. That's how it started. That's kind of where my mind was when I wanted to start making these videos.
And I know just from being on the back end side of Catherine's journey, can you tell everyone maybe some of the struggles or setbacks that you had with building this, because you host it on your own
Right.
website, right?
Yeah.
And your own platform. So it's
Right.
not like you're using like a learning management tool like a lot of online businesses use. You like
Right.
created this from your own.
Yeah, from the ground up, which I am by no means tech savvy at all. So it was absolutely a learning curve. Honestly, so much goes into building something from the ground up, which I did not anticipate. I thought I was going to be able to throw everything up in
Yeah.
6 weeks time, as long as it took me to write. Like, I'm a yoga teacher, right? I'm not by any means business savvy. So I'm like, okay, I have this idea and I'm a very creative thinker. I have a creative mind. So I'm like, okay, I can write these sequences. I can do these sequences. I can pretty much learn how to video them. Literally everything I've done with my iPhone and a tripod, and editing software. But then the back ends of actually building a business and learning how to function as a business owner has been entirely different. Yeah. So it's definitely been a learning curve, but something that now I have so much respect for all of the men and women that have built something of their own. I think it's an experience. It's an experience unlike any other. I feel like too, it's funny. I was just having this conversation with a friend who's building a business, who's opening her own yoga studio now as well. And the things that come up for you when you start building a business of your own, like all of the, I don't know, the struggles that come up, your insecurities that start to like resurface, this
your fear.
Yeah, the fear is like, it's crazy. And you don't even know if it's a fear of failure or a fear of success. You're like, I'm excited for this, but what did I get myself into? I feel like it's what do they call it? Imposter syndrome. I'm like, I know that I'm good at this, but that is huge when you're building something.
And no one like preps you for that?
No, that's something that nobody that's not something that you hear about. I think that's something that we need to talk a lot more openly about.
Oh my gosh, yeah, because when right before I quit my job, I was listening to a bunch of podcasts, and it was all on podcasts, like leaving your 9-to-5 job, and I'm like, oh yeah, like it's no big deal. But then when I left, I faced so many mental obstacles that weren't just like about my business. It was like all me, because my mindset had to be right, and it was like stuff that even trickled in from like other parts of my life. Like I don't know if you've heard me talk about it, but like just with me and Zach, it's felt like a huge like trust between the two of us, because
for sure.
we no longer had that like 9-to-5 security. It was, am I good enough to do this? Like, is anyone going to want to be a part of what I'm building? So I totally get that, the insecurity, the imposter syndrome. And I think the quote that someone told me that like really snapped me out of it was, people who have imposter syndrome are the most qualified, because they are like so qualified and they are so smart in what they do, but they care so deeply about like the service and the quality of service that they're providing.
That's true.
That they feel like it's imposter syndrome.
Yeah.
That comes up because they feel like it's never going to be good enough. And I think women also have it way more.
I would like, agree.
An entrepreneur kind of pretty much in the sense too.
Right.
So like, I feel like he probably doesn't have the same struggles that you've gone through.
No, no, probably not. I feel like, as women, we're our own worst critics, right? Too. So every little thing that I put up there, I'm like, nobody's going to realize, like, this is me. This is my insecurity. There's nothing like this. The website is beautiful. The videos are good. They came from my heart. Like, everything that I put into what I do is from a good place. So I guess maybe that's it too. You have the fear of like, you put your heart and soul into something, and is it going to be rejected? Or people going to be like, whoa, what's this girl talking about? But no, I think too, a big thing that is important for me to remember is the people that need your medicine are going to show up for it. So
you're not meant for everybody.
Right. So that's also really important, and something that I had to keep reminding myself over and over and over again.
Yeah, because you kind of got started at the beginning of the pandemic posting like Instagram Reels and TikToks. Because you have quite a good following now. Before you launched, I think so. You have a pretty good following, because you guys were posting like workout videos and just like random content. So did that kind of help with launching, or did that motivate you? Were people requesting you guys to make these videos?
So for me, a lot of it was my in-person class students when I left were like, how am I going to still be able to practice with you? And that's kind of what got me like into the mindset of like, okay, I still want to be able, that is such a strong community of women that I don't want to walk away from. So I wanted to be able to still be an active participant in their lives and continue to connect with them and share in their journeys. And I'm like, okay, so I can have this community here and also be a part of a new community and just open it up. Now it could be a global community. Anybody from anywhere can be a part of this, which is awesome. And I love that. I love that it's not limited to space anymore. So now just random people that have asked me before, like, I really want to take your class, but I'm so nervous to take an in-person class, or I don't want to be in a room with a bunch of other people. I've never done yoga before. Even my mom, she's like, I don't want to go to an in-person class. Like, I am a very beginner, like, but I want to do yoga with you. So how can I take your classes? So this makes it accessible to everybody. And straight up, it's a lot cheaper to do it this way, because in-person classes are expensive. And that's another factor for a lot of people as to why they don't sign up. They're like, I can't afford to take a $15 class every single day. Like, that's just not in my budget. And that's totally reasonable, even for me. So for the price of one class, you can get an entire month, and you can do it whenever it's convenient to your schedule, which is another thing that I was finding myself doing a lot. Like, once the pandemic hit, I was taking online classes more than I was going to in-person classes, to be honest. So yeah, I don't know.
So you're all, I should know this, but I'm also putting it out there for everyone else who doesn't know. Yeah. So you all of them, I know you have pre-recorded ones. Do you have any live ones, or are you waiting to build that in the new year?
So that's something that I'm probably going to add into the new year. I'll probably just do a handful of them. They're not going to be anything consistent like I might do for a special event, or just seasonally host some sort of live class. But right now, no, they're all pre-recorded. And I did that, like I said, because I want them to be accessible to anyone at any time. And all of our schedules are different. We're in different time zones too. So what's great for me at 6 p.m. is not convenient at all for somebody on the West Coast at 3 in the afternoon. That's just not going to work. So this way you can kind of watch it whenever whenever's convenient for you, really. And
do you provide, like, I guess you kind of brought it up already, like for people who are beginners and they're like not sure or they're nervous. This is also, I didn't realize this when we scheduled this conversation, that it was like perfectly timed with like New Year's resolutions until I was like thinking about it. I'm like, that's the thing right now. No matter what year it is, everyone's like, oh, I want to be healthier. And I think yoga is a great way. Obviously, I haven't practiced in a while because I'm pregnant.
Sure.
Things like that. But you can still practice when you're pregnant. It's just
you can. There's just modifications. Yes.
There's definitely modifications that you can do. I did practice more with Charlotte when I was pregnant with Charlotte. But can you tell like benefits or like ways to get started? Because I know it's like a mindset thing for most people, or like little tips to help keep people into it, and why you see it as such a benefit. Because I know you have like a really deep connection with the practice.
Yes, for sure.
Mentally, how beneficial it is.
So as for getting started, that's kind of one of those things that just try it. Like with my subscription, you have a 7-day trial period. So at no cost to you whatsoever, you can just sign up, go through, take a couple videos, do a couple classes, and just kind of see what works for you. I started there's a 7-day challenge, if you will, journey, whatever you want to call it. And each class is less than 15 minutes, and it kind of gives you a little taste of different styles of yoga too. So some people really are into, power yoga, which is what my main, that's what my main, classes to teach is. That's what I'm trained in, is power yoga. So I love a good workout, obviously. That's kind of where Yoga with Cath came into play, with blending the two, fitness and yoga together. So I'm not going to be talking to you in Sanskrit. It's not going to be like hard to understand. I talk you through all of the movements. And easy to understand language, so that you're not like, oh, what the heck am I supposed to be doing here? I know a lot of people who start, they're like, okay, I don't know the difference between downward facing dog and camel. And John always makes fun of like all of the different names for all of the different poses, because he's like, I don't know what any of that means. So I try to talk you through it step by step, instead of just cueing random
Yeah.
random names. So that makes it a lot more user friendly for beginners. And so there's all different kinds of classes. There's the power yoga class, there's a yin yoga class, which is more of your stretch, your mobility. So if you're the kind of person that wants to try yoga because you want to add a little bit more mobility to your workouts or just your daily life, there's everything from a 9-minute video to a 30-minute video where you can sit down and stretch, I have Spotify playlists that you can queue up and just kind of mellow out and relax and stretch. So
I love that.
there's those kind of videos. I just released a journal meditation series. So if you kind of want that aspect of yoga, so let me backtrack. As far there's a million different things that you can get from yoga, which is why I love it so much. So anybody who signs up, there's going to be something there for every single person, whether you are in search of, tuning in back into your own self and connecting back to yourself emotionally, through mindfulness, things like that. If that's kind of what you need, then there's something there for you in that way. If you are just one of those people that just want to like hop on and do like a 9-minute ab workout, you're looking for exercises, that's absolutely going to be there for you. If you want to strive to have a little bit more balance in your life or a little bit more mobility or flexibility, there's something there for everybody. So
I feel like people get confused that yoga is way more than just like the stretching.
Right.
And it's all like you can simply do meditation ones like you put up.
Right.
And it's more about getting in tune with your body and your mind at the same time.
Yeah. So I think one of the biggest things that it's like a yoga misconception, which I think everybody's guilty of probably associating it with, is what you see on Instagram, right? Like the extreme, people doing acro yoga or people doing like crazy splits and crazy stretches. And the number one thing I hear is, I can't do yoga, I'm not flexible. Well, that's the point of doing yoga, is to get more flexible, to learn a little bit more about your body and mobility. You don't just show up because you already know how to do a split or put your leg behind your head or something crazy. Like, I can't do it, and I
can really touch my toes. Zach used to make fun of me for this. I finally was pre-Lila able to touch my toes.
Yeah.
But yeah, so you gotta start somewhere, people.
Yeah, absolutely. Which is why I too thought I was a good person to self-record all of these videos, because I want to just like slash that misconception. You'll see me in the videos like not being in very good balance at all, like tripping over myself and stumbling out of poses and I can't do a split, I can't do a handstand, but that doesn't make me less of a yogi. And I really hope that comes across in the videos. Like, yoga can be fun. It doesn't always have to be like so serious. There's just so many stereotypes that revolve around what a yogi is, and that's the opposite of what yoga should be. So hopefully that comes across in my channel and in my posts and in my social media, because I hate that. I hate that there's such a stigma around it, like that you have to be a 90-pound vegan acrobat to be a yogi. That's just absolutely not true.
No, it's not. And I always think it's fun when you post the videos with John, because he is like the complete opposite of what you think of when you think of a yogi.
Yeah.
But he still does it, and he still tries.
Yeah, he does. He does. He's like, bodybuilder yogi, right?
Yes, he is a bodybuilder yogi. But that just goes to show the importance of balance, because it's like, my body can't take, I love lifting, I love going to the gym, all of it. It's great to have that balance of, if I don't want to go to the gym, I can do power yoga. I still feel like I got a really good workout.
Right.
Or I can do just some simple mobility or meditation. And I still feel like, okay, I got my workout in, I got something, I moved my body a little bit.
Right.
But it's still, like you said, slowing down and mentally resetting, because that's so, so, so important, especially not just for people like, I know I have a lot of business owners who follow me, so that's why I'm saying, like, because they are always constantly going, but it's good for anybody every day. to just, I mean, you don't have to practice every day. That's another misconception.
Yeah, just throwing it into your routine. Honestly, when it comes up for you organically, just to throw in a video. And again, that's why they're pre-recorded. So anytime we have it, there's like morning meditation, there's, well, if you want to call it that, I call it a moving meditation because I think that's kind of what it is. But
Okay.
there's ones for morning, there's one for before sleep, there's like a midday pick me up where you just need to like, I know, okay, I'm sure you're guilty of this, especially if there's a lot of business owners on here. If you work from home, how often do you sit at your computer all day and you look up and next thing you know, it's like 3 p.m. and you're like, oh my goodness. Like, I just need to get up and go for a walk. I have like a video for that. So just getting up and just like moving your body and just getting a little bit of blood flow, resetting your brain, and then being able to get back and refocus on whatever it was you were doing before. But things like that, I think, are just so important. Just movement in general.
I am definitely guilty of that. It happened the past 2 days where I got off on the computer at 9 a.m. and next thing I knew it was 6 p.m. because we don't have people with us right now. So I'm distraction free, but that's kind of like a bad thing because there's no balance.
Yeah, no, I get that. I think we're all guilty of that for sure.
Yeah. But I guess what is, since we kind of talked about like the beginners and getting started and just like it's a habit, you know, if you do it once, it's just like one foot in front of the other. You have to be cognizant of it. I guess I should have asked you to explain the difference between like a power yoga and like other types. For anyone who
doesn't know, right?
Anyone who's watching who doesn't know, I guess we're throwing around these terms and they might not know.
Yeah, for sure. So a power yoga class, that's in on the website, they're called golden hours. And just as a preface to that, why I called it golden hours, because Sawyer is in every single one of my videos. It was inevitable. I tried to get him out of them. It was just it wasn't worth the fight. So I just made him a part of my brand. So golden, as in golden retriever, that is why they're called that. And they're hour-long classes. So the golden hours are the power hours. So that's going to be more of your workout. It's a roughly 60-minute class. That's a lot more higher intensity. You're going to be working, toning your muscles. It's designed to be a workout. It's designed to be challenging. So it's not necessarily limited to people who kind of already have a practice. Beginners can absolutely do it. You just might have to make some modifications, which I do offer in the class. I try to be as understanding to everybody in whatever place that they're in my verbiage, I guess, in my wordage when I am instructing the class. So absolutely, they could be for all levels. Just kind of taking what you need as you move through, but they are a workout. They are intense. Some of the other classes there's a quickie series, and those are all going to be less than 30 minutes. So some of them, and they're all marked as to what they are, and there's descriptions for each videos, but some of them again are just like that quick 15-minute, just need to like get up, move your body. You don't have time for a full workout that day, but you do want to just get some movement in. So some of them are really challenging, quick 15-minute bursts, like expend your energy, move, really like burn out your legs or your core or your upper body. There's kind of something for every part of the body there. And then others are going to be, like I said, designed for mobility. There's an entire mobility series. So everything from yin, which is going to be a 30-minute long session of stretching, but it's intense stretching. So you're holding all of the poses for anywhere from like 2 to 5 minutes per pose, which doesn't sound crazy, but I don't know if anybody knows what a pigeon pose is, but when you're opening up your hips like that for that long, it can
sounds like a long time to me.
Yeah, it gets pretty intense. So I always tell people, make sure you have props like pillows, blankets, and you don't have to have actual yoga props. You don't have to have blocks or straps or bolsters, anything fancy. I use my couch cushion in the video. So you can use anything that you have laying around the house, but just having those props with you so that you can support your body, so that you're as comfortable as humanly possible in poses like that. So we have those kind of mobilities, and then there are shorter little like after your workout. Say you did work out at the gym and you just want to kind of stretch it out after, there's classes for that as well. So all designed to, and they're all labeled upper body or lower body, full body, just kind of dependent on what you need that day. So you, like I said, just taking whatever you need. And then the meditation series right now that I have is a journal series, which I just launched for the new year, but it can
Right.
be done at any point. So all of the questions in there are going to be right now, technically, they're designed for reflecting back on 2021. And as of today, we're actually starting on intention setting and things like that into the new year for 2022. But again, you can kind of revisit those videos. I like to do it monthly. So that's kind of where I got the idea for this. I like to sit down once a month and kind of reflect on the past month and project kind of what my goals are going forward into the next month. So that's where I got the idea for doing this series. I think this way of meditation, like a journal meditation, is
Right.
a much easier to swallow version of meditation than when you are just kind of sitting there silent with your hands on your knees and your eyes closed. Some people just can't get into that, and I completely understand because that's very challenging for me. So
Exactly.
my most favorite way to meditate is to just journal, to actually just sit down, have a prompt, and write it out. So that's why that is the way it is. Eventually, I'm going to add some more to that. We'll do some guided meditations later in the year. We're going to be adding some other series later in the year as well. But that's what we have so far.
And they can access this kind of stuff mobily, right? Like
Yeah.
if when you're working and that's the way you have it set up,
Yep.
is they can do it on a laptop or access it from their phone when they join. Is that right?
Yep. Yeah. So your phone, your iPad, your computer, you can stream it to your TV if you like to do it that way. So however you like to watch videos on like YouTube, it's very similar. You can stream it however you'd like. Yeah.
I have streamed Catherine's YouTube videos to the TV when I was doing yoga. Like I find yours are Lexi's. Lexi's my cousin. She doesn't teaches, but doesn't have her own brand. But I'll stream onto the TV because I'm like, I know I can follow them. Right. But that's good because a lot of people use the excuse of like, oh well. So you can take your phone. You take your phone to the gym. You listen to Spotify. So if you're at the gym already, you can turn it on and do the stretching after. Like, which is a huge thing people don't do. I'm guilty of it too. I'm stretching after the workout, and it's not good to you feel it the next day.
Oh, for sure.
And I think the other follow-up question, well, not question, was, I guess, intention-wise, when you write it out, like, that's how I feel is my best way, is, like, I'll get up before Charlotte and everyone else, and just writing out, like, little affirmations to myself, or whatever my goal is for the month. Like you mentioned, intention setting. Like, if I write out that goal every day just to remind me of it, and it seems so silly, but that's when I've seen the biggest shifts in my business. I just posted a post about that. Like, once I had the mindset of believing in myself, but also when you're writing things down, it's such a simple, like, little thing. Like, if you write down, like, I want to work out, or I completed my workout, like, you write it in the present tense, like, you've completed it, it's already done, you're going to be more apt to do it.
Right. So, I find that to be true. Absolutely. If I write something down on paper in both ways. So like if I'm reflecting back onto in the past, whether it's last month, last year, last week, it doesn't matter. If I have just something that I feel I'm carrying, and once I write it out, I'm able to just let it go all the easier and all the quicker. And yeah, as far as intention setting, when I actually put down my goals, my intentions for the month, the week, the year, whatever it is, I'm much more likely to achieve them, hands down.
Right. Do you do also, I guess this is like, because you've mentioned meditations, but do you set intentions for your yoga? Because I know some people do that as well. Like
for the classes, for each class? Yeah. So that's totally up to, that's I feel like that's a very personal thing. So when I am practicing, it depends on the practice. At the beginning of class, that is something that I'll often offer. I'll say, like, we'll get started in the first few minutes. I kind of just want you to tune into your breath and just kind of arrive in the space that you're in. Right. And if you'd like to set an intention for your class, then that's amazing. Some people think that makes the class a little bit easier if they're like, okay, today I'm going to work on just being patient with myself. And if they keep coming back to that throughout class when things are coming up for them, when things get challenging, if they just come back to, okay, I'm being patient, it's okay, I'm just gonna let my body like take what it needs. Sometimes that's what they need to kind of get through the class, and that's super helpful for them. Other people are like, yeah, no, I'm here for a workout. Let's just go. Let's go. I need the energy. Put the music on. Let's move. Like put on some gangster rap and do it. So it just is going to be like super different, and it's going to be different for each person, each class they take as well. It's not going to be the same every day. Every day you show up, you bring something different to the space, right?
Yep. And I think that just was something I wanted to bring up too, for them tying back into the mentality and like how it can help you, because I'm sure, like as you mentioned before, when you were struggling with your business or things like that, you probably went back to your yoga practice or your meditations and intention setting, and that's how to blend the two, because I feel like it's very vague when people talk about it. Is how do I blend this mentality piece or mindset piece in while I'm doing my yoga? And I knew like intentions are probably, or just like, is it just the slowing down? Was that like
it's kind of both. So a lot when I was creating the business, the best thing I could do when I was struggling, having a really hard day, really frustrated, was to just put down my computer, stop writing, stop worrying about what I needed to accomplish, and I just needed to roll up my mat and just relax and just let my mind go for a minute. And that's what I think that might be the thing that I cue the most, or that I suggest the most in practice, is to make your mat your sacred space. As soon as you step into that space, you can let go of everything else that's going on in your day, in your life, in your house, in your at work, at school, whatever it is. Let it go, because you are in your own little safety net of those four corners where you can just let it all melt away and just kind of refocus back on yourself. And I think that's something that a lot of people don't always do, right? So I think that's a huge part of what yoga is reconnecting back to yourself.
And that's important, especially with everything going on right now.
Sure.
People are just stressed or anxious or uncertain. Things, may not be clear, but going through and doing just the simple breathing work. Like I've done just breath work this pregnancy a lot more. And it's crazy what the difference can be when you just focus on like doing that kind of stuff. It's always the simple things. And that's what I love about this series, is the series is meant to focus in on very simple tips that people can take into their everyday life to make it manageable or just a little bit better. Because I know when I was struggling with just everything, it was the simple little things that got me through, or just focusing on the simple little things. Like, so even breath can be,
that's huge. It's 80. That's 80% of even just getting through a class, is just being able to stay with your breath, right? The preface, like the idea, yoga stemmed from breath work. It was just a breath meditation, but people are having such a hard time staying in it that they added the movement in later. So the movement didn't start with the movement, it started with the breath, and they added the movement. We always say one breath, one movement. So each movement that you make in a yoga class is to be done with a new breath, right? So that helps you just calm your nervous system, to relax. And that's why, right? So for sure, even if you can just close your eyes, lock yourself in a closet, lock yourself in a bathroom for 5 seconds, just to like close your eyes and take a deep breath all the way down to the bottom of your lungs, and then completely release it, you're going to feel different. You're going to feel better.
Yep. It's so true.
Yeah.
Is there anything else? I don't have any more specific questions, plus I like to make sure we keep these short and sweet for sure. Watching the replay.
Yeah.
Is there anything you want to leave us with in the new year before we hop off?
Well, I mean, absolutely. Just, anybody who's thinking about doing yoga, getting involved in yoga, I say just try it, and if the first time you get into it, that class that you take isn't for you, then try something different. Because like I said, there is something for everybody. There's a teacher for everybody. So I might not be your medicine, but there might be somebody who is. So just just keep trying different things, keep trying different meditations. Try the journaling. I'm telling you, it's totally different than just sitting down and, listening to a guided meditation when, that can be a challenge when all you're thinking about is, what you have to make for dinner and all the things on your to-do list for the day. And, oh, is that the dog? And, oh, that's my neighbor. And, oh no, is it raining? Like all the different things that are going on. That tends to happen when you're just doing a traditional style of meditation. But just sit down and reflect on the past year. Maybe you don't even set intentions yet for the new year. Sometimes that's really overwhelming. And I think that we're getting bombarded with that right now. Like you said, new year, new me. I think everybody's kind of really honing in on that. But there are some people out there who are still recovering from 2021 and they just need more time to reflect and get through everything that they've been through in the past year. And that's okay too. So just listening to yourself, finding whatever it is that you need. And that might not be yoga at all. Maybe it's, just taking better care of your body or your mind, whatever it is. It's going to look different for everybody. And that's okay.
I think that's like the hardest lesson to learn is there's really no wrong time.
Right.
Because everyone thinks they're on this schedule, but then you reflect and it's like, who's setting this schedule?
Right.
Because I would do that when I quit my job because I'd been so structured and I was like, I have to do this or I have to this. And then one day I was like, no, you don't have to do it. You're
right.
doing it because you're putting the pressure on yourself or society's putting the pressure on you. You don't have to do anything until you're ready,
Right.
So there's no wrong time. There's no right time to set an intention. I did a goal planning session with a workshop with some people last year.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you don't have to do this right now. You can even take this and just start doing this in the middle of the year because just because it's not the beginning of the year doesn't mean you can't set a goal or work towards a goal whenever you feel like it. So don't feel like you have to start right now.
Right. Or two, I think one more thing, and then we can get off this. Because I think this is another thing that I see a lot of people doing right now is trying to put a lot of pressure on themselves to figure out all of the things they want to do in the year. And I think one of the best tips I've heard and that I've implemented, I did this last year and I'm planning on doing this year as well, is just take it 1 month at a time and make it super simple. So for the month of January, maybe it's every day in the month of January, you are committing to a 15-minute walk, or you're committing to drinking more water, or trying a yoga class, or whatever it is. You commit to just one thing. And then in February, maybe that thing just sticks because it's become a habit. Maybe it doesn't. And maybe it's, I'm going to get 15 minutes of natural sunlight. I'm going to eat more green vegetables. I'm going to start a 30-day multivitamin, whatever it is, but only picking one thing and sticking to it, because trying to implement all the new things in 1 month for the next 12, it's just not sustainable. And then you end up just feeling defeated and overwhelmed and frustrated. And then you look back in December and you have accomplished literally nothing because you were so angry a month into the new year. Right. So just taking,
or you're so distracted. You can't focus on so many things because then you're literally wasting time thinking, what should I do? Which one should I do?
Yeah. You're right.
Oh, I forget what Zach tells me. I don't think he's on right now. He was on, but he always tells me don't be about it, or don't think about it, be about it, or whatever. Yeah. He's like, you're wasting time just worrying about it. And I'm like, yeah, you're right. I should just can do it.
Yeah, just pick something, one thing, and try to commit to that. So if it's, in January, for me, it's getting my steps in. It's going outside and getting at least a 15-minute walk in every single day. That's what I'm committing to this month, but next month it might be something totally different. So yeah.
This month I'm committing to not getting sick / I just want to
yeah.
She's waiting for me to text her when I go into labor.
Yeah, same.
So I'm like, just make it to the end of the line. But that's a really good one. The steps are always important because, especially this time of the year, it's hard with Well, not for you.
Well, yeah, I was
You're in
gonna say
Florida, so
it's
it doesn't
easier.
matter.
It's way easier for me to commit to going outside for 15 minutes a day because it's nice. But right
Yeah.
now, hoodie. Well, this is me. This is how much of a Floridian I am. I'm sitting next to a space heater and a hoodie, and it's like 60 degrees outside. Like,
Stop it. It's 30 some here. I have my space heater on, but I'm like 30 and we're in the basement. I'm in the basement. So
yeah,
you you can't take
I'm
the PM.
spoiled. I know.
But that's okay.
All right, sister. Well,
Thank you for
thank you for
sharing all that
having
with
me.
us. And anyone, if you're watching live or watching the replay, um, Catherine will be tagged in here, and the link to get yoga with Cath is in her bio. So if
Yes.
that is on your goals for the new year, or just want to check it out, or been struggling to find a practice or a space that is good for you, like she said, you get 7 days free, and then it's a $15 a month membership, so it's
Right.
way cheaper than going to the gym. You can do it in the comfort of your own home, and all you need is a mat, which you can get at Five Below. So there's really like no excuses. Um, so thank you so much
Yes.
for sharing how
Thank
your journey
you.
on building the business, everything that
Yes.
goes into your practice. So, and we'll talk soon,
Yeah.
but thank you.
Thanks for having me.
Of
Bye,
course.
guys.
Bye.